Bigger potential plays coming up through the Monday and through the week. So we're going to go over some all new analysts like on the bigger names, Apple, Tesla. Tesla's going to be a pretty big one. I'm really hoping we get some bigger moves on Tesla to the downside because I think that could be really some big buying. Also like Meta. Meta is pretty much on the bearish side. So we'd be looking out for two different things, a bigger reversal or more straight puts. Because if you look on the Discord, we've been playing, we scalped literally every morning. Friday, we did about 2 scalps, 17%. Thursday, we did about 4 scalps, all on Meta, all to the downside. That Wednesday, I actually lost on Wednesday. I lost every play on Wednesday. And then Tuesday, we had 2 plays. And then Monday, we had 3 plays. So we're literally playing the market every day. Make sure you guys join the team first in the description, but I think there's going to be bigger plays on this week for the market. So let me just go ahead and start with the semiconductors as I usually like to do, and we're going to be going over AMD. So AMD has a support right around 233.60. We're going to leave that on the chart for now, but we're also going to add a secondary support just in case we have like some decent droppage. We're going to be adding another support area right around 224.35. Okay, now we want to see if we start breaking these areas of AMD. I was hoping AMD would have a bigger drop off earnings. It had a little drop, but it recovered pretty fastly. We want to see AMD down here below like that 200 mark and then start to look for a reversal on AMD. But we also have resistance around 250.10. So we'll just kind of see how AMD wants to move this week. There's nothing bigger I would do right here on AMD. All we really did was just take a little profit off our long-term shares, like 10%, something small, to just build that cash position. So whenever the market is ready to crash down, we have cash to buy everything up, right? Kind of like Warren Buffett has a lot of cash. Once it crashed down, cash will be king. So that's what I'm looking out for at AMD. Then Nvidia, we have a support right around 182.45. If we break that support, we'll be looking for some downside for this week on Nvidia. But also, if we stay above the support, I might look for shorter term calls tomorrow, as in like scalping, right? But anything bigger like swings or so forth, I won't do much just yet. This is not a bad area for swings because it's right around a support area, and we did have a bigger crash down. So usually we would like to retrace up a little bit, not the all-time highs, but maybe retrace up to like the 196ers or so, which could be like for decent swing calls. So we'll see if that works. But love Nvidia long term. They also have not had earnings yet. They had that on November 19th. So we want to be cautious of that. And then we have SMCI. We want to update all these levels for SMCI. As I told y'all, I'm pretty bearish on it, looking for downside, but there are different ways I'm looking at SMCI. One is a reversal back to higher prices, and another one is what happens at this like smaller support area if it continues to drop right around 36.70. So if we go down, I'll probably wait for any more downside type of plays with SMCI because I already hit a lot of bigger targets. I think now we want to see if we can catch a smaller reversal on SMCI, maybe to go up to like the 44-ish range or so. That would be kind of like the bigger play for this week if we have that reversal. So I think that might be the bigger play of SMCI for this week. And then Broadcom, we took a little profit off, 10%, building that cash position. We want to see that, but support 344, resistance 380.30, but you also have like a smaller resistance in here on Broadcom around 354.65. So nothing big I would do in here. Broadcom has been pretty slow though. If you look at it, no real bigger movements. So no swings for this one just yet. Just kind of have long-term shares and letting those rock out. Also like TSM, long-term shares, letting those rock out. And then what we do want to change on TSM though is a support. So your bigger support would be down here around 275.10. So not much to do in this range right here. You want to be very particular. That's why I try to help y'all with levels, support levels, resistance levels, try to give y'all direction, because if you're playing in the direction of where a stock wants to go, you tend to get easier winning plays, right? Like say we're looking for calls on a day that price is pushing, it'll be easier to get profit off that. But say price is pushing down, but we're looking for calls, we will start losing and giving our profits back. It'll just be too hard of a play. So that's why I hope these levels help. Like if it breaks here, I'm looking for downside, breaks here, looking for upside. If it's in between those, nothing really to do, and so forth. So hope you guys appreciate that. Let's go over a little more technology. So ARM, we're going to move support on ARM all the way down here now to around 140.50. Then also a small resistance on ARM. I put around 159.50. There's really no plays I see on ARM right now. Like I wouldn't buy shares, I wouldn't get swings. ARM just has been a very slow mover. If you zoom out, we just really have not gone anywhere for like over a year, almost 2 years. Okay, so ARM, we'll just kind of see how it wants to move. What I do like is Cloudflare. See the difference of we're moving, it just makes it easier. So we have a support on Cloudflare, like around 227.85. Resistance is pretty much the same, 245.60. Nothing I see on Cloudflare just yet, but maybe if we get strength, it might want to go back to those all-time highs on that Cloudflare movement, but we'll see. And then a bigger reversal I'm looking out for is Trade Desk. Trade Desk come out the earnings, they beat on all the metrics, but they did have some downward movement. The biggest thing on Trade Desk is going to be a reversal. Okay, that's like the biggest play I'm watching out for. For now, we have resistance around 47.35. Once it breaks this, doesn't mean I'm gonna buy that reversal, but I want to get a bigger reversal on Trade Desk to go up back to like the 70, 60, 70s, possibly even the 80s. That's the bigger play I'm looking out for Trade Desk. So for now, the biggest thing I'm watching out for is the resistance areas. That's like the biggest thing. Now, I also want to add Adobe on here. Still in that technology space, I want to update all new levels on Adobe. This is something we're watching for as well. They are down a lot, right? Let's see of a new support. Oh yeah, they're coming down to a bigger support. So if they break this support on Adobe, we'll probably see some bigger pull downs. 323.70. If we get that breakage, then you'll probably see Adobe like still drop. They still have their earnings around December though, but yeah, so they're very close to that. So Monday, if they start breaking that, probably just straight put season down to like the 310s on Adobe. So you can watch out for that. Let's go to Palantir. Palantir has two supports, resistance levels, so pretty much same levels on Palantir. Nothing really has changed. Kind of a nasty area zone for Palantir, so I'm not buying shares here. I'm not getting calls. I'm not getting puts. It's not a bad area for swing calls because it's around a support area after a heavy drop. Usually they like to tend to like kind of go back up. I probably won't play that, but it's just something that might be a play for the week. But if they come back down and break both of these supports, then we're back to just looking for straight puts on Palantir. And then also SoFi, nothing much, same levels on SoFi, no real big movements. Again, SoFi hasn't really moved in this range for the past 2 months since September. We haven't really gone out this like $28 range, so no real direction, which means we can't have too much focus on a stock that doesn't have that much direction. It just makes it harder to play. We'd rather just focus on something that could be easier, and then whenever that stock is ready to move, then we'll be ready for it. That's why usually we scalp every morning. We did 2 plays Friday, 4 plays on Thursday. Literally every play I did on Thursday was all on Meta for the droppage. Wednesday, I lost every play Wednesday. So Wednesday wasn't that good. 2 plays on Tuesday, 3 plays on Monday. So you get to see us play every morning. Very high strategic. We do the same thing every morning. It's very easy to follow. But the biggest part is you want to be learning from it. Build the freedom. Start learning how to find these plays every morning consistently. That's the biggest part, consistently, and find it on your own, okay? Make sure you guys join the team, first in the description. Prices are probably about to go up by the end of the week, this week, okay? But you get to see everything that I do. But yeah, so Tesla, new support around 426, resistance level 457.70. No real big movements out of here on Tesla. I'm hoping Tesla can have some bigger pull downs to the threes because I do want to buy some more Tesla long-term shares. Yeah, I think Tesla will be well over $1,000, especially if they just keep doing what they got to do. Let's go over some of the bigger names. I don't want the video too long. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend as well. I know we have a Veterans Day on Tuesday, so I think the banks and bonds are going to be closed, so be careful on Tuesday. You probably won't get like a real movement, but Apple's neared a $1 billion deal with Google to enhance Siri using the Gemini AI model. So the updated series is expected to debut in iOS 26 by 2026, and they're going to be using Gemini. So I love Google long term. Apple is going to be a good long term as well. So Apple doesn't really have any key levels. Okay, we're kind of just stuck in here. Monday, I'm probably just looking for like straight puts. I'll probably just play puts for it to break below 26625 as a like shorter term play. Other than that, that's not much I could do at Apple in the range that it's in. Stock that we did start buying a little bit was Meta. Meta's down over 20-something%. I don't see Meta going anywhere right now. I think they did like some bond auction, I think, but they do have resistance around 634 and support around 598.25. So if Meta comes down and breaks the support like Monday, I'm looking for more puts on Meta, right? As I saw that day, there was one day we did like 4 Meta puts. It was this day right here when Meta was just dropping. So I'm going to be looking for that again. Or if Meta breaks its resistance at 634, I'm looking for a bigger reversal on Meta. But I did buy some more Meta long-term shares, thinking longer term, right? Sometimes you have to scale out and look at the longer term view of Meta, right? But a lot of stocks are in very vertical modes, okay? That's very dangerous because we could have bigger pull downs incoming. You want a more slow, gradual. If you look at a lot of charts, we are very vertical, like straight up. Just like real quick, like if you look at Nvidia, it's like straight up. It's too steep, you fall off the edge. So just be careful of these pull downs, build a cash position. I'm taking a little profits on these stocks that ran up a lot, still holding like the core positions, but taking profits. So whenever the market does crash, we don't feel like we didn't take any profits. We have cash now to buy and everything is good. So prepare for those. But yeah, that's what I'm looking out for. Now on Amazon, Amazon is a very nasty movement. There's really nothing I would do on Amazon in this range, like just to be honest. Like that's the thing. We have a strategy. If I don't see anything moving accordingly to that strategy, I don't play anything and it's not a play. Price is going to be moving sometimes without you, right? Price has to move with no play so it can set up for a play. Sometimes price is just freely moving. You have to understand that difference. Free movement and what's a play. Right now, Amazon is just freely moving. There's nothing really I could do with Amazon. Google, love this one long term. Google is still very high. Still same levels on Google. There's nothing I would do in this range as well. Like I wouldn't get calls, puts. I wouldn't buy more shares. Just kind of really nothing to do on this Google part right here. And then for HIMS has resistance around 45, 40. They have a bigger support around 33, 35. So we're going to see how HIMS wants to move this week. Maybe I am looking for a reversal on HIMS because every time it comes down to this range over the past 6 months or so, came down here, big reversal, came down here, big reversal. We are past that area and we're still dropping, but we are still looking for a big reversal. I'm thinking that might happen once we break a resistance level, and your first one is around 45, 40. So maybe once we break that, I'll start looking for higher upsides. But if we never break that and we just continue going down, then we might want to go down to the range around like the 28, 30 range. So we might have some bigger drops on HIMS. Just kind of watch out for that. Eli Lilly, very big strengthful push. I'll be looking out for Eli Lilly for calls. I was waiting for a pull down after this run, and we finally got that pull down here. So we do have a resistance level. I'll see if Eli Lilly calls are ready for Eli Lilly to run up pretty much all-time highs, which is 972.53. So pretty much straight calls. Resistance 932.90. That's pretty much the only thing I'll be watching out for in Eli Lilly. Pretty much like swing calls, letting it go up there. We'll do all these plays in the Discord. So if you see a lot, depending on what's clear, what's moving, we kind of transition to what might be a play, because I don't like doing a lot of plays, right? I like to do one play, two play, and days over with, and just call it a day and have that freedom. You don't want to be staring at the market all day. The resistance level 327.10 on UNH, and then support 307.90. UNH is a possible reversal play, but it would have to break two resistance levels, and this is the first one, right? We have to break like two areas in here, and then once we do, then that might be showing signs of UNH reversal, and that's like a potential call area. That's like the only play I'm looking out for. If UNH goes down, there probably won't be any plays on that, and I'm also looking to buy more long-term UNH this week, so that'll be good. And then for the banks, really the only bank I'm watching is Bank of America. Is getting close to an area that it hasn't broke since 2006 of an all-time high. So you want to see the two resistance levels, 53.40 and 53.75. Once we break both of those, I'll probably get calls in the Discord on Bank of America to reach above the 55 area. That's just an all-time high. Bank of America hasn't hit since 2006, so I think that would be very powerful, very magnet run. So we'll watch out for that, and they do have a support around 52.70. And then I think the only other bank I might be watching is JPM, getting very close to that resistance level, 315.45. Once that breaks, I'm looking for JPM to go to all-time highs, and that's a potential call area for me. They also have a new support around 310.20, so we could watch out for that. But those are like the only two kind of banks I'm watching. Tomorrow I'll post a longer video with a lot of other stocks, so just make sure you comment those stocks down below, and I'll update those stocks on you. American Airlines having some strength. Watch that resistance level. Once that breaks, you might be able to see American Airlines start pushing up. It's the only one I kind of like. There are some other ones like UAL and Delta and so much more, but American Airlines is the only real play. So I'm even thinking about calls once that 1380 breaks, which is very close. So we'll watch out for that on Monday on American Airlines, and then they also have a support around 1325. So that's what we're looking out for. Make sure you have very strong risk management, right? Don't try to go heavy on every play. Categorize them out. Be a manager of your account and really take it serious to what's the next steps of how you can become that consistent and not just in here playing games, okay? You don't want to just play games forever. You want to get serious, and then it'll be good. American Airlines canceled 1,500 flights and delayed 6,700 flights on Saturday, with more disruptions expected as the FAA requires further flight reductions. So that's a little something. Um, gold and silver. Gold is trying to break that resistance area. I want a little more push though. Gold calls might come in, and then silver is also trying to break that resistance level. So maybe calls for both of these might be coming this week. We just need a little more strengthful push. And then the S&P 500, I'm gonna leave that support there since we closed above it. And then I'm also give you a secondary support just in case we have bigger pull downs on the S&P 500 right around 663.90. And then you have a support at 669.96. And then for a resistance area, again, we are still bullish in the market overall, but some stocks are more bearish than others, like Microsoft's kind of bearish, Meta's bearish, but these other stocks are actually bullish, like Apple and Google and so. But resistance 676.20 on SP 500. I might do some shorter term calls on SP 500 depending on where we open on Monday. I might do calls, but if we open a little too high, I probably won't. And then that is about it. So we'll call it a day there. Bitcoin and Hood and Coinbase, I'll update in tomorrow's video. No real big updates on those. And always remember, no speculation bars. So anything just for educational purposes only. So do not trade anything you see here in the video. I will catch you guys on the next one.